Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to do a little upgrade to Ben's bike.
Got some Memphis Shades handguards.
Yeah, we're sitting around this winter, thinking about riding since it's too cold for us to go riding. We're sissies, we can't ride it unless it's 50 out.
It's too cold for me to ride over to Dad's house, so that's why we're filming here today.
Yeah. But Ben was talking about what kind of upgrades he should do first on his bike, and we got to talking about what upgrades to do first. And
that's how we came to the handguards, because, we did ride some and it was cold, and I wore like leather gloves that were lined, and my hands were still cold. So handguards were one of the first things that I ordered.
Yeah, when I put handguards on my Road King, it makes a night and day difference. But we're thinking about what are essential upgrades to when you get a new bike or new to you bike.
Yeah.
And thinking about upgrades, and when does it get to a point when you just get a new bike?
Yeah.
Because
so we wanted to kind of talk about when is the right time to upgrade, and when is the right time to quit upgrading and get a different bike. So Dad was going to kind of talk about that because he just kind of went through that, and I'm going to start getting these installed.
Yeah, on my Street Glide, my stock handlebars are down below the fairing, so I don't need any handguards on it. But that's one of the reasons why I got it. Actually, when I rode the Road Glide, it was your hands are up in the wind, and by Lowrider S that I had, that was probably the best upgrade I did, was put the Memphis Shades handguards on it.
handguards. Yeah, I for my bike, it's a Road King special if you're new to the channel. But the first major upgrade I did to it, besides a sissy bar, which I don't feel like a sissy bar is an upgrade.
Well, it is. If you're riding two up, it's kind of essential.
It's technically an upgrade. If you're riding two up, you got to have a sissy bar. So that was the first thing that I bought for it. But besides a sissy bar for riding two up with my lovely wife, is I got a windshield for it, which the Road King don't have a windshield, and that makes a huge night and day difference. I got the windshield and the handguard at the same time, and it's like riding basically a new bike. But we don't ride highways too much. We ride 200 miles of highway a year maybe. But
Well, that might change this year too.
Yeah.
Hopefully that changes this year. But we just ride country road, back roads, and kind of stuff. But if you're gonna go faster than 50, the windshield makes huge difference. It was night and day difference about just being more comfortable riding. Which I rode the Road King for a year before I got a windshield for it. And
and that's kind of something that he said as soon as he rode my bike, was like, man, I'm out in the wind, but I don't really know any better. I guess if I had a windshield, I'd probably be like Jared is, night and day difference. But
windshield. And one upgrade that you always have to do to a bike for sure is a seat, which I rode the stock seat on my Road King for a year, and I got the Amazon special CC rider seat on it now, and it's better than the stock seat. So,
I think probably the first thing that everybody does on the Harley is put exhaust on it.
and exhaust.
yeah, and that was one thing about this bike. It came with this tab exhaust, which is really sweet, which I might still upgrade it eventually. And the other thing about this bike, which you have to kind of think about, is it didn't come with bags stock, which this one did because I got it used and the guy had already bought a bag. But if I bought this bike new, you have to buy bags.
Yeah, you'd have to get something. Yeah.
The bags kind of depends on what kind of riding you're gonna do.
Yeah.
But because Dad had that Lowrider S, and all of our buddies we rode with, they all had Street Glides, and we would go on longer rides, and they all got bags to put in. And when our mom goes riding with Dad, she brings all kinds of stuff with her, and trying to fit stuff in the bags he had on the Lowrider S, it just wouldn't work, and he was thinking about getting new bags for it, and he was going to relocate the foot pegs to make it more comfortable to ride for longer, and then he was going to spend all kinds of money on it. So that gets to that point where, man, I'm trying to make this bike to be what it ain't.
Well, yeah, trying to change it into a whole different bike, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. He was trying to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do, is try to make it basically a bagger.
Yeah. And that's what I want to talk about, is that's when you got to the point where I just need to get a different bike.
Yeah.
Well, what made you go to this bike from your V-Strom? What was the point where you decided you was gonna have to get a totally different bike?
Well, the point where I decided I had to get a different bike was at Smoky Mountain Bike Week last year. We were riding around. There's 800 Harleys all around me. I didn't see the only dual sport bike I saw was the Pan Americas, which is the only bike that anybody rides with Harleys that was like the V-Strom. So that was when I decided, man, I really need to get at least a cruiser bike or bagger. So, but yeah, that's when we started searching over the winter and found this out at Ride NKY, and I love it so far, but I put about 150 miles on it, so we're still getting used to it.
So coming from a dual sport bike to a cruiser bike, you just wanted a different kind of
Yeah,
bike.
it was just it was a style change more than a needing to change bikes, which that was
an upgrade.
Yeah, it still was a big upgrade. This bike's almost 20 years newer than that.
Yeah, well, I went from a 90, I think it was a 94 Honda Shadow 600, and I was riding with Harleys. You know, they make 4 times as much power as the Honda.
No, wasn't it a 4-speed?
Four speed. It was. I think it was a 4-speed.
Yeah, I think it was.
I mean, it would go 65 downhill with the tailwind.
I remember riding the Cherry Hollow Highway, and we're all flying. You know that if you know that road is pretty fast. We're all going, probably too fast. But Jarrett's in the back of the pack, and that thing is just on the limit.
Just pinned.
Yeah.
So I upgraded from that to a bigger bike so I could ride with the people I was trying to ride with. That was an upgrade. I mean, that Shadow would never keep up with the Harley. I mean, I had to get a new bike if I wanted to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what drove you to get a new bike. And Dad was trying to turn his lowrider into a street glide, so he just bought a street glide. So.
But upgrading and buying a new bike also comes down to what you can afford. I mean, I could afford to get a new bike from the Shadow that I had, but just like man could afford to get this new bike. But
yeah, I guess the point we're trying to make is, you're sitting around in the winter thinking about what kind of upgrades you want to do. You might think about not upgrading the bike you got and kind of getting something else. I mean, that's what I did, but I
did too last year. It was beginning of March when I got my street glide. I don't think I had rode my lowrider at all. I think the first time I rode it was to take it to trade it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gets to the point when you're thinking about upgrading your bike is just when to get a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
You got to know when to know when.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Got the Memphis shades on there. They're pretty cool. We got that on there. That, like I said, that's an official thing on this bike, and we got a new seat coming in.
It does look.
Throttle.com.
It does look cool.
If you're gonna upgrade your bike you got instead of getting a new bike, check out RollingTile.com. Use our code BTB859. Save some money.
Yeah.
Rolling Tile's got a lot of good parts.
Yeah. So get on there, check out the website RollingTile.com, and if you don't see what you're looking for or have a specific part in mind, you can go. Shoot Drew an email over there at sales@rollingthrottle.com, and he should be able to hook you up. That's what I did for the seat for this. So, anything else you want to add? You want to kind of...
Saddleman seat, right?
Yeah, it's a
Saddleman.
Anything else? Yeah, so thanks for watching, you guys, and let us know what kind of upgrades you're putting on your bike this winter, or if you're maybe upgrading to a whole different bike. Thanks for watching.